felt like I had lost my autonomy to my own body. It's not gonna be fair in terms of 50-50 split. Truth be told, you can't spend 24/7 with your baby. At least I couldn't. Hi everyone, my name's Mia. Thanks so much for joining me. I'm a first-time mom to a beautiful 4.5-month-old baby right now, and she is absolutely my whole world right now. The journey here was not easy for me. During my pregnancy, all the way through my 4th trimester, I definitely had my doubts. I had a lot of thoughts. So here's a list of 6 things that I learned as a first-time mom, some hard-fought truths that I hope that it might help with some people who are going through 4th trimester, going through pregnancy, and just trying to get a heads up on what's to come. The first lesson that I want to talk about is coming to terms with your new identity. There is nothing that could prepare you to become a mom until you have become a mother. The immediate change in your identity is incredibly sudden and stark. There's like no transition plan once the baby is here, or, you know, easing into the diaper changes and sleepless nights. It's like, wham, done. You are off to the races. This was particularly hard for me, especially when I didn't have the initial maternal sense. If that makes sense, like I never felt maternal in any way pre-pregnancy, during my pregnancy, and even afterwards I was still kind of fumbling on that identity of being a mom. But I do have a sense of responsibility to keep my baby alive, of course. It definitely took a lot of more time to bond with my baby. A big part of it was I felt like I had lost my autonomy to my own body, my own time, and that's why I felt like I was making the biggest mistake of my life and thought it was gonna just go on forever. Especially when you're delirious, you're sleep deprived, on those sleep short cycles, the frequent feeds. It really felt like I had no ownership to my body and my time. I remember just being there in the first couple of weeks, just mourning for my old life, where I could just bed rot, I could binge watch TV all I wanted. I had all the time in the world. Now it's all locked up to this stranger in my room. Later on, I actually discovered that the feeling I had postpartum actually had a name to it, and it's called the baby blues. Whatever you're feeling right now, where you're feeling that kind of regret and wishing for your old life, it's totally normal. Have some grace to just, you know, adapt to your new identity of becoming a mother. Right now at 4.5 months, she's smiling, she's giggling, she's so engaging. We finally got some kind of schedule, which I know will definitely change in a bit again. Everything's always in flux, but it's so worth it. The second lesson that I quickly learned was to follow my baby's cues and not expect a fixed schedule. So being a first-time mom, I of course naively thought that I could force a schedule on my newborn recommended by other moms, or what Google recommended, where, you know, you have your 2-hour sleep cycle and then you feed and then you play for 1 hour and then 2 hours and sleep by 7:30. I tried to follow that and tried to force it, and only caused a lot more sleepless nights. It even went from feed amounts to where I was like, oh, we have to at least get her to drink 3 ounces, which she then proceeded to spit up. Really, I tried to go through all of it, the schedules, the feed, recommendation, volume. But in reality, there are just so many variables that play at the end of the day that could really impact how your infant sleeps and how your milk production is going to come through, whether you're going to use formula. That might also affect how the baby sleeps, etc., etc. There's just so many things going on, and maybe your baby has other like issues like colic. You are learning about your baby, and your baby's learning about yourself and themselves outside of your womb. I think why I tried to force some level of structure was because I tried to have some kind of control over this craziness of a newborn phase. As I mentioned, my first point was the loss of autonomy, right? So if in my mind, if I implemented structure, I could get some autonomy. At least I'm controlling some slots and times, and I can maybe have some free time, and my husband can also have some free time too. But that didn't work. It actually caused more issues, if anything. My baby only started to really settle down was when we let her do her own thing and set her own pace. However much she wanted to drink from the bottle, she decided. However much she wanted to sleep, she decided as well. And as long as she was gaining weight and meeting her milestones, we were happy. Very, very little intervention was required if she was meeting her milestones and gaining weight and not losing it. The third point I want to make is be incredibly flexible. This follows the point number 2, where you should not implement a structure. I was baby-led, and being baby-led means you have to be flexible. You have to just expect that your life is going to be put on pause momentarily, and you will get back to your normal life in the future. It just might look a little bit different, and you have to do things a little bit differently. I feel like I need to stress the word on momentarily pause on your normal life and extracurriculars, because when you're deep in the trenches, it will feel like there's no end in sight, there's no light at the end of the tunnel. But you have to remember, a wise man once said, this too shall pass. And before I knew it, my newborn is no longer a crying potato, but very much a smiling, giggling baby that just has the most beautiful smile when she wakes up to me looking down at her in the crib. Like, it gives tears to my eyes how much joy that gives me. Another point that I want to make in the flexibility part is you should never measure your partner's efforts and your efforts 50-50. Like, it's never going to be split down the middle of, oh, I did the dishes, so you need to feed the baby, or like, I dealt with the baby today, so you need to deal with the baby tomorrow, so that it's fair. It's not going to be fair in terms of 50-50 split. But what I can say is, while I was recovering, as an example, 90% of all baby-related tasks outside of feeding her, my partner had done it. And once I recovered, I did 80-90% of the work because I was on maternity leave. But when he came back home or on the weekends, he would take, say, 60-40 as an example. That's how we kind of had a relationship previously around housework too, is we had to be incredibly flexible to our own energies as well. Truth be told, you can't spend 24/7 with your baby. At least I couldn't. Especially when they were in the crying phase and the sleepless cycle phase. I needed my rest to produce the milk. I needed to feel good to produce the milk and be able to bond with my baby as well. And my partner did a really great job in like alleviating a lot of household tasks so that I can bond with my baby and provide a lot of the love that she needed. That's why these things, I want to say it's not 50-50 because you can't measure it. There's no quantitative measurement to these tasks, whether it's child rearing, household stuff, others, admin, house maintenance stuff. You can never do 50-50. You just need to measure on effort is, hey, like, if you're not feeling good, let me take some of it off you today. Tomorrow I'm not feeling good, the other will take some off today too. You're just gonna have to work it that way, and clear communication is very much a thing, and being flexible with it. The fourth point I want to make is redefining your definition of productivity. To give it a little bit more context, productivity to me pre-motherhood was, we're doing things that meant I was getting ahead in life, whether that's climbing the corporate ladder, getting that title bump, getting that raise, getting that bonus. That to me was productive. Or it could be improving the environment that I lived in, home renovations, home maintenance, home cleaning, those very tangible tasks where you can see improvement. When I became a mother, I felt like I was just useless because I wasn't doing those things. I wasn't getting the next promotion and becoming a director, as an example. I had to quickly realize that now I have a new job. Actually, in fact, it's the most important job of all, being a mother. It's like shifting your priorities. Taking care of a newborn meant you had to make sure that they're clean, fed, growing, and happy. And if you can check those things, you are very productive as a mom, because that is your new job title. Forever. And that's okay. Don't ever feel like you're wasting time doing nothing if the only thing that you did that day was taking care of your child. That is the most demanding job of all. The fifth lesson that I learned, and this could be because I didn't really pay much attention to it because I was more focused on the labor and delivery stuff, is breastfeeding is a bitch. I'd rather do the delivery 10 times over back to back than do breastfeeding for an entire year. I will still try for an entire year because it benefits my child, but oh my gosh, all the things that are involved with breastfeeding I could cover in a whole other video. In summary, at the beginning, your boobs will get even bigger. You think your boobs during pregnancy was big? It's gonna get like a whole cup size bigger. Like, I think most of my size actually came postpartum. I remember the first 2 weeks I had engorgement issues where I think my milk ducts were getting all the milk production getting ramped up. So it just got bigger and bigger and bigger. Like, the milk ducts were getting bigger and bigger. There was more blood flowing in my boobs and it freaking hurt. Like, it was so tender, I couldn't even touch it. I almost thought I got mastitis. Knock on wood, I hope I don't get it because it sounds so bad. I also got milk blisters, which is another thing. You cannot pop them yourself. You can only hope your child sucks it out of you. Same with milk clogs, which I experienced 2 weeks ago. This is a whole other topic that I could cover in another video, but it is tough. If you don't think you can do breastfeeding, because it takes a lot of time to pump, wash the bottles, warm the bottle, feed it to your baby, wash it again, pump, or even just like feeding or nursing, your nipples are gonna get so sore and it's gonna hurt. It's like a mental toll. Again, loss of autonomy in your body because it's gonna demand so much of you and you're gonna be so tired. I know I'm rambling because breastfeeding, do not take it lightly. If you can only do 2 months, great. If you can only do 1 month, that's fine. If you need to switch the formula, that's fine. Fed is best. The last lesson I want to leave you guys with is you do not need to buy everything all at once. That's it. I said it. I'm not the kind of person to say, hey, disregard everything. You don't need this. When I had a child, I didn't need this extra thing and that extra thing. I'm in the camp of get it. Get whatever will make your journey as a mother become a lot more enjoyable. Because that's the great thing about our day and age is you can buy whatever you want for any need you have. One thing I do want to point out is, because this is a new experience, you are your own person. You are also having a baby who is also their own person, who have very different preferences that are drastically different from someone else's baby or someone else as a mom. Anything that's recommended might not necessarily fit into your camp and be good for you. And that's okay. I would say take some time at the beginning just to figure out what you actually need as a mom and what your baby needs as a baby. And those are the 6 things that I have learned during my 4th trimester postpartum. It's been such a blur, so I hope with my mommy brain everything that I just said made sense. I wish you the best. If you're already enjoying the parts of motherhood in the first few months, good luck. Godspeed. I have faith in you. You're not alone. And those moments when they're smiling at you, and one of my favorite moments is when she smiles at me in the morning when I wake her up. Everything just fades into the background. All those sleepless nights, all the crying, they just fade. And all you can see is, oh my god, she's the cutest little thing and I can't believe she's mine. I hope to make another video about motherhood as I experience it myself. But yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching. Bye!